is time to get the lift on.
Welcome on in, welcome on in. Alright, today we got a shoulder dominant push day. Should be a pretty good one. Go ahead and get you all set up just for that. So we got a bed last night. A little bit less than 7 hours of sleep, but it should still be okay. Put you guys right here for now. We'll let chat move on. That's what I'll do. Nobody shows up, I'll just play Megadeth. Actually, I have one last Black Sabbath album to listen to, so I might do that. It's kind of rainy and gloomy this morning anyway, so it might be a decent idea. We start with a warm-up set. Ooh, okay, there's some soreness, so go wider grip shoulders. Narrow grip shoulders. Grip. All right, now we're down here. And some wider grip. Some narrow grip. Oh, nice. Oh, good morning, Marroheads. I'm doing just fine. I'm gonna lower this for just one brief moment, so I can make sure that the camera's aligned evenly. It sure looks like it is. Very slight tilt. Okay. Just ever so slightly tilted. Perfect. Nice. I'm doing pretty well. What earbuds do you have? These are basic wireless Skull Candy earbuds. They are nothing special. I think I got them as a gift several years back. They're maybe like $20, $25. They're very basic. I'm not an audiophile, but I will say, again, I can't be more pleased with how good the recording mic quality is on this. I think a big part of it is because of the proximity to my mouth. It works so much better than I would expect, given that they're just headphones. They work incredibly well on the microphone too. So I'm very pleased with them in that regard. All right, let's get started. We've got. Oh, by the way, I will have to. You'll have to excuse me for the the heart rate graphic that says 0 right now. I tried as best as I could to get that working before the show, and I just couldn't do it. So that one, I forgot to take it off, so my bad on that. In the future, hopefully we'll figure out a way to get that working. That's the goal. So yeah, I think they're basic Skull Candy earbuds. I'll give you a little close up to them here, right? There's a little light there for Bluetooth connection. The little button's a Skull Candy button, and then it's got left and right. Tech problems are stuck with you since yesterday. Well, no, this is a slightly different tech problem. So yeah, so the heart rate monitor thing it's unfortunate, but it's not the end of the world. I don't think hype rate would work for what I'm trying to do in here anyway, just because So what I like to do, I'm gonna do my first set, and then we can talk about this because it's already almost 5:30, and I still haven't done my first set yet, which is bullshit. Put you guys down here just for now. We're starting with behind the neck shoulder press today. I really like behind the neck shoulder press. I think it's a really good way to hit the other parts of your deltoid muscle that maybe you wouldn't activate as much with a conventional shoulder press. You just can't do it with as much weight as a conventional shoulder press, since it's a little bit more of a stretch. Anyway, this calls for some music. Do a little Rattlehead by Megadeth. I love Yes, but this is not Yes time. This is Megadeth time. That's not bad. That's 7 for behind the neck, 167. I will take that. Especially considering I only got 6.8 hours of sleep. Not bad. Now I went to bed at 9:30, which is just not quite enough. I normally set my start going to bed alarm at 8. I should probably set it a touch earlier. What I realized is it normally takes me around about an hour to prep for bed. Hello, Porthos. Yeah, it is dark outside, so it's 5:27 in the morning. Right? That's kind of why I get up. I want to stream. Want to kind of have some space, do it myself. Also, it's the best time zone for the rest of the continental U.S. to see me, because a lot of people are just waking up and joining the Sunday morning. A lot of people in Europe can also tune in. It's not too late there yet. Yeah, so we are here 10 hours behind GMT, which is, I believe, what's in London. So if you're in Germany, yeah, it's about 12 hours. Something like that. Oh, the other one too is, so sometimes when I say GMT minus 10, I know Germany and Central Europe is only, I'm sorry, y'all. Totally forgot. So Germany is only GMT plus 1, but the difference is Hawaii does not observe daylight savings time, because what would the point be here? We're in a tropical country. Usually we're in a tropical latitude. I think we're 21st parallel, 22nd, one of those two. And because of that, the difference between sunlight in the summer and sunlight in the winter, I mean, it does exist, but it's rather small. And I mean, the weather is paradise in summer and slightly rainier paradise in winter. So there would be very minimal value to adding daylight savings time. It would just make things unnecessarily complicated. The two states that do not observe daylight savings time are this one and Arizona, which also makes sense, because if you've been to Arizona, why on earth would you want to conserve sunlight? That's the last thing you would need there. It's already 110. You don't really want your evenings to be any hotter than they have to be. Little Rocket, good morning. Welcome on in. All right, second set. song. This is Megadeth's cover of These Boots by Nancy Sinatra. Yes, they did that, and yes, it's good. Six. All right. Take that. Not bad. Yeah, so I like this. This is Dave Mustaine's quote on the song. Lee Hazelwood says my cover is a vile, vulgar, offensive cover. What I find vile and vulgar is that they were happy to collect a royalty check for years before complaining about it. Yeah. So I know a lot of people don't like Dave Mustaine, but as far as I'm concerned, he was and still is one of the best. One of the best to ever do it. You know, a lot of people say, oh, Mustaine was a jerk, Mustaine was an asshole, whatever. Okay, one of the biggest assholes, like impossible people to work with in music was Frank Zappa. He's also probably one of the greatest geniuses in rock and roll ever. And it's because he was 100% dedicated to his craft. I don't know if Mustaine is exactly like that, but yeah. Look well rested despite an early hour. 6.8 hours of sleep. Could have been better, could have been worse. Especially on a weekend. I really should have gone to bed earlier. I got to bed at about 9:30 and that just wasn't enough. Right, so my wake up time is about 4:40. I would have been here earlier, but I'm realizing that I have two options. I can either uh, relieve myself before getting down here and streaming, or take a break midstream and go to the bathroom. And I feel like y'all probably wouldn't enjoy, having the camera face the wall while I go use the facilities. That seems a bit counterproductive. All right, so those two sets were at 165. We're gonna go to 155. If I can bang out 10 here, I'd be thrilled. If I can bang out 8 here, I'll be content. FSU, right? I'm not gonna judge Florida State here because God only knows A&M will go and do something even dumber. Of course, the nice thing is we've got the Mickey Bowl for A&M in week 1. It's A&M versus Notre Dame. So no matter what happens, at least one team will have the hype bubble completely deflated by team 2, which is good for the sport. Because come on, A&M has no business getting any hype whatsoever. And aren't you just sick of hearing all the Notre Dame bullshit because they play a tissue soft schedule and then they get mollywopped by a real opponent, in November or December? Then don't you just get sick of that? This is, I think, the rare instance where most people will actually be rooting for A&M. So I found is you either like Notre Dame or like you either like love Notre Dame or you strongly dislike them. What's funny is I'm Catholic and I strongly dislike Notre Dame. It's not just a religion thing. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to stick with Megadeth? Yeah. All right. Third set. Let's go. And then after this, do we have any other barbell exercises we're supposed to do today? That's unusual. We actually don't. So we'll move to dumbbells after this, actually. Yeah, we got a lot of dumbbells and machines today, which is kind of nice for a change. I normally do quite a lot of barbell work, so it's a good change of pace. All right. Okay, putting kneel down here. Set 3. Strong. Come on. Let's go. That's 10. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, bizarrely strong day today. All right, let's move on over to bench. De-rack this. That was good. Grindy 10, but it was 10. All right. So, full update on the modeling front. Talked a little bit more with my director yesterday. The New York trip is a question mark now. I will have the answer on August 28th. So that's this Wednesday. I hope it happens. I've never been to New York City, and I'd love to go, but it's going to be a decision by the designer, basically, whether or not there's going to be any male models for the show. All right, thanks for the alert there, Mirages. Being real old real quick. The Commanders did another Sean Taylor statue. Sean Taylor would have been a Hall of Fame defensive back. Frankly, I think he would have been the best one to ever do it had he not been tragically shot in Miami in 2007. Unfortunately, the crowd he surrounded himself with rather unfairly came back to end him in the end. So it was some friend of someone, like a friend of a friend, I think, something was wrong with him upstairs, and he shot Sean. It was a real tragedy because Sean Taylor had done a lot of growing up in those years. Sean Taylor was seen as something of, I'd say a bit unfairly. Granted, he went to the U, so that reputation precedes itself. But he was seen as something of a thug just because there was one incident like where he spat in another player's face. But I don't care. That was Sean Taylor is the best safety I have ever watched play football, like with my own 2 eyes watched. I actually watched him pick Brett Favre off several times. That was actually the last game he played in, I believe. I was there in 2008. Or was it 2007? No, it's 2007. Excuse me, 2007. Um, Sean Taylor was built like a all-pro NFL linebacker. I mean, Sean Taylor had the quickness of Richard. He had the quickness of just about you name it. Probably quickness of Brian Dawkins. He had the vision of Ed Reed. I mean, I'll put it this way. It was like a Barry Sanders, Thurman Thomas type thing. Ed Reed was an incredible safety at the U, and Ed Reed himself said Sean Taylor was better. I mean, he was just phenomenal. But he had the hitting ability of a guy like like a 70s linebacker, like a Jack Lambert, right? If you looked at him, like if you ever saw pictures of him in the gym, dude did not have an ounce of fat on him. The thing with Sean Taylor, too, is that he could live rent free in the minds of receivers. Terry Glenn famously dropped balls all the time when the Cowboys were facing the Redskins back in the day because he was afraid of getting absolutely clobbered by Taylor. Terrell Owens, that was a big one. Uh, Terrell Owens, who is an absolute beast of a man. I mean, say what you will about the size of Terrell Owens' mouth. He ran his mouth a lot, but Terrell Owens was a physical freak of nature. Still is, honestly. He's an incredible guy in that regard. Um, but Sean Taylor put the fear of God into Terrell Owens, and that takes some doing because, again, T.O. is what, 6'5", 220, 225. He was a huge receiver, especially for the 2000s. Randy Moss himself, actually, at his Hall of Fame speech, was asked who he's glad he'll never have to play on the field again, and he said Sean Taylor. Again, Randy Moss was not a small receiver. Randy Moss was, I mean, arguably one of the best to ever do it. Hey, morning, Tony Caleb. Um, Mikey, good to see you. Welcome on in. So yeah, that's I think that is probably the biggest tragedy of the modern NFL was Sean Taylor's passing in terms of the incredible football we never got to see. I mean, I have just never seen a player lay the lumber on someone and cleanly too, as hard as Taylor did. Uh, you know, like there's a clip of Taylor absolutely mashing Willie Parker of the Steelers, and it was a completely clean hit. Now Parker was not a big running back, but he got absolutely demolished. All right, let me go ahead and hit a set here. Let me go with dumbbell shoulder press for let's see, this is 4 sets. All right, a little bit more music going. God, I love early mega death. Good shit, good shit. That was 13 reps at 100 for dumbbells. We're gonna stick to that. We're gonna do 3 sets of that, and then we're gonna hit probably a 4th set of like a hold press at maybe 80-pound dumbbells. So what I mean by a hold press is just a bench press, but 1, 2, 3, real slow, eccentric, really shred out the chest that way. Yes, these are 100-pound dumbbells. This is in effect 200 pounds, but you notice, wait a minute, Bull, you bench 225 for 13, 14, 15 reps. Why you only benching 200 with dumbbells? Well, dumbbells are not as easy to press as a barbell. The reason being, you have to focus on individually stabilizing each dumbbell. Whereas with the barbell, that left-right is counterbalanced by the rest of the barbell. So basically, it comes down to you're pushing 2 things individually versus pushing 1 thing. go. I have one more Black Sabbath album to listen to, and I think I might do it. The album is 13. The good news is I don't think it could be worse than Forbidden. Forbidden was terrible. I've enjoyed listening through the whole discography of Black Sabbath, but Forbidden was a chore. That was not an enjoyable album. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Tony Martin era. I get what they were trying to do. I feel like Tony Martin was just a worse Dio. Uh, and the truth is, I prefer Ozzy era Sabbath over Dio era Sabbath. Now, I like Dio era Sabbath. Don't get me wrong. The Mob Rules actually was my favorite Dio era album, which I know is a hot take in and of itself. Heaven and Hell is great, but I think they actually improved upon the formula with the Mob Rules. But as far for my money, the best Black Sabbath album was Sabotage. Speaking of other hot takes, a lot of people are like, "Oh, it's Volume 4, it's Master of Reality, it's Paranoid." Great albums, don't get me wrong. But for my money, it's Sabotage for sure. Also, all right, lesson learned. There's no point in me relieving myself for the stream because the pre-workout always seems to make me have to do it a second time. Hit the set, and then I'm gonna have to go use the bathroom. It is coming up quick. Ooh. Let's go. All right. Set number 2 on bench. You know what? Megalomania starts off a little bit too slow. Let's just go for Paranoid. I know I just said I prefer Sabotage as an album. I need something to hit this. Nice. Is that hydrant? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, folks. I'll be right back. Put y'all right here for now. Sorry about that, but oh, I needed that. It definitely felt that. I guess now I'm thinking back on what I was eating yesterday. I had was snacking on a bunch of carrots and pea pods, so that fiber built up in my system, and guess I didn't get it all out before I came down here. But good news is, I think after that, I can probably justify a reweigh when I get done with this workout. Because I weighed in a lot heavier than I expected. Weighed in at like 219 this morning. I'm like, that doesn't seem right. And now I know why. So that was not entirely solid, I'll put it that way. It was unpleasant, but needed to be done. Thank you for your patience. All right, let's hit another set. By the way, uh, is this reading correct to y'all? Like, are y'all able to see? Is this? I noticed last stream this was mirrored, so now you can actually see if it reads in higher latency. Great. Yeah, whew, that was necessary. That had to be done. I had a bunch of peanuts too, which probably didn't help. Should not have eaten the peanuts at all yesterday. I ended up eating like 40, let's see, 4,740 calories without any trouble. Oh, 12. Whoa, yeah. There we go. That's good. I think that was our third set, yeah. So now we go down to 80. There we go. Already starting to break a sweat. Already starting to break a sweat. Oh, hey, dumbass. Maybe it's a good idea to, I don't know, put up the weights you just took. Brain's still waking up, I guess. It's okay. Brain no necessary. Just lift heavy iron. Oh, yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you. Okay. All right. I'll, after I'm done, you know what? I'll leave the headphones in for this set. There may be one or two more I want to listen to music to, but you know what? I know exactly where I can put the headphones to where that'll work. I'm gonna put them on top of the camera. I don't know why didn't think of that earlier. That's so obvious. There's a little, the top of the C clamp for the camera. It's the perfect size for me to put the headphones. And if I'm gonna be facing the camera anyway, and I talk to it, y'all will get a good response. How did I not think of that until now? I'm not always the smartest. You, you would think, oh, nuclear engineer, he'd figure this shit out instantly. No, no, we trial and error in this hoe. Okay, But I'm kind of curious. Let's see if this works. Nope, it's not going to work on there, but right on the top. Perfect. Okay. Let me know how the audio quality is with that, because if that works well, then it's an easy job done. Is it Megalomania? I do like Iron Man, but not for this. There we go. You hear me? Now, I bet the quality isn't quite as good as when it's in my ears, but as long as it's decent, it doesn't have to be perfect for every single set. Right? Every single audio set is going to have a pro and a con. And if that's the con, I can live it. This quality's okay. Hey, Nuno, welcome on in. Can we get a shout out for Nuno, please? All right. Here we go. So we're going to do this for slow eccentrics. This is only 80-pound dumbbells. 12. 14, come on. One more. Ah. Oh, it's 15. Let's go. All right, that was pretty good. Had a great morning workout. Thank you very much. Yeah, today's push day. We're hitting shoulders, we're hitting chest, and we're hitting triceps. Just about to shoulder press, actually. There we go. That was a good set. All right, so we got shoulder press for dumbbells next. I need to go back. Oh my God, put you guys in. So obviously, I know the quality with the mic here is going to be better. But that last set with bench, the mic was sitting atop the phone for camera. If that was passable, that's good. Let me know. So let's see. We've got semi-did shoulder. I have to go back and find a dumbbell shoulder press entry. See reps. All right. 2 sets of 9 and 10. That was at the end of a workout for 60. So I'm going to go ahead and guess. Start at, because this is a slight incline. This is the one thing that I wish this little seat had. Let's see if I can put you guys over here to explain it. You can see that there's a slight incline back. It's not big. It's maybe 5-10 degrees, but it definitely changes the angle. Puts a lot more on the front delts and even the top of your pecs. Not ideal, but it's the best seat I've got for a shoulder press. There are no vertical seats. That'd be a really nice addition, but You don't have it, you don't have it. Do you have any specific goal besides maintenance? Um, Not really. No. I want to get down to 212, maybe even 210 for definition for modeling, but that's more of a, drop water weight kind of thing. Let's hit 65 to see how those feel. Um, I can't honestly say I really want to push my numbers a lot higher. There are a few things that'd be kind of cool to do. Rep three plates, it's just 315 pounds. If that's 140 kilos, which means nothing to the European side, but um, no, I can't sit here and say that there's honestly anything like I'm super intensely attempting to do on that account. Although one thing I do need to do is perfect. Yeah, I can't. I feel like this is slightly crooked, ever so slightly. There we go. No, I don't. I think it's just the angle. I think I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to tell. But will you be modeling? Yeah. I did a modeling show a couple weeks ago. I potentially have another one in New York City coming up in a couple weeks. We'll see. I'll know the permanent details on that come Wednesday. That's the 28th. I'm locked into a modeling gig in November. So what that effectively means is I can't go on a bulk. Obviously, that's not ideal. Yeah, pretty good definition this morning though. So with that in mind, it's sort of I could either continue cutting, which I just do not have the appetite for. I'm getting to the level of leanness to where the lower your body fat percentage gets, the slower you have to cut or you start really losing muscle. And I definitely don't want to lose muscle. There's nothing more frustrating than watching your gains go away or even losing progress in the gym. All right, so let's hit a shoulder press set. All right, that was 12. That felt pretty good. Wasn't even using music for that. Um, Ahoy, good to see you there, Jord. And I know you were a new follower as well yesterday. Aloha, welcome on in. Glad to have you. I'm gonna go up weight. I think that was a good 12 rep set, but looking for more 8 to 10 rep weight on that. So I think 70 should do the trick. There we go. Yeah, I write everything in pencil paper. Okay, so like, here's what I mean by definition. Right, I think a couple extra pounds lost is going to come out of the belly. So you might see, right, 2 is clear to see, 4 is clear to see, 6 is clear to see, 8, not so much. So might allow me to go from 6-pack to an 8-pack, but it's kind of optional. It's not really necessary. But it's nice you know what Varian is in a Tuesday type conversation. Yeah, for sure. Now I'm very glad very glad a couple of the Raiders are gonna stick around. That means a lot. It's kind of nice actually. That most recent stream with the raid yesterday got me over 2,024 followers. So now I have more followers in the current year. I'm at 2,027 at the moment, which, yay. I'd love to see 2,500 this year. Probably won't happen, but it'd be cool if it did. Do you have an 8 pack too? I'd say I have a 6 pack. I don't think the bottom two are separated well enough yet to call it an 8 pack. I think if I got down to maybe 210 or even 208, we might be venturing into 8 pack territory. Those last few pounds are hard and they're going to take months and discipline. Uh, and last night, where I ate 4,740 calories, definitely did not help. All right, let's go. Let's hit. Let's hit this one. There's a lot of followers, not even at 800. Well, Nuno, man, if you want to do collabs, I'll certainly look to raid you a little more. I like your content. I like what you do. So yeah, like 6'5" for that. 6'3". I'd say it really depends on when you measure me, either 6'2" or 6'3". I'm probably closer to 6'3" getting out of bed and closer to 6'2" going back to bed. Because your height varies, about half an inch through the day. More if you're doing squats. Come on. Get up there. Yes, sir. Oh, that was a good 10 rep. I like that. That felt good. We're going to stick to 70-pound dumbbells. That was perfect. For each other in the fitness and health community. Absolutely. It's one thing I like about Twitch. Community here is very positive. I think the fitness and health community, frankly, is the best one on Twitch. I think a lot of the gamers will like intentionally try to create artificial beefs with each other. It just seems fake to me. Whereas fitness and health, it always seems like people are positive. People are helping each other out. People are raid often. People are motivational. Live streaming, podcast like would be a great idea. Totally, totally. Well, and I mean, my Discord alone has 800 followers. I will say, right, if you want to post your stuff in my Discord, I have a self-promote channel. You're more than welcome to. In general, it seems like my audience doesn't really go hard for the people who just post in there. You have to kind of be active and give people a reason to want to watch you. Continue fitness and DJ. Yeah, I can do that. I can listen to 13 today. So we're gonna hit one more set on this, and then we're gonna hit. Let's see. And we're gonna hit skull crushers. It looks like. Sweet. I'm gonna DJ, but I can sing. Well, I can't sing, but I can DJ. At least I can DJ a good workout playlist. My advice to you on that one, Nuno: Sabotage by Black Sabbath. Thank me later. Here we go. Actually, I'm not even listening to anything right now. I'm just keeping the headphones in here. My headphones act as my mic, so I have a pair of wired headphones and another phone that I listen to music to on the sets where I really need it. But for this one, it's dumbbell work. It's 10 rep work. I don't need it that badly. 9. I'll take it. All right. Next up, we got skull crushers. So, whole point of the skull crusher, pretty simple, really. The whole point of the skull crusher is to work your triceps. So we're gonna move you guys right there. Move you guys just a touch further back. Perfect. And then set up the weight. Stand by. Go. God, you know, honestly, it's a crazy thing. In high school, when I played football, you know, I dreaded getting up to do the 5 a.m. workouts. Now, I can't wait. Like these last 2 days, I've sprung out of bed at 4:40 in the morning uh, to go and lift, and I love it. Let me see where my last skull crusher set was. Damn, we were hitting at 135. Okay, okay, I like it. The skull crusher's a little heavier today. You're only 8 repping it, but that's a solid skull crusher number. We'll see how 135 feels. If it's too heavy, I'll go to 115. I do want to do skull crushers at a slightly heavier weight because it's my first triceps exercise of the day. But if it's so heavy, right, that my form is getting compromised, well, then I need to go down weight. This morning at the gym. You're the only one in there. Maybe 2 or 3 other people. Again, I get up at 5 in the morning for a reason. It's just after 6 here. So the idea is that when I come in, I'm relatively alone, so that way I'm not disturbing people with my stream. So in general, no, there are not that many people in here at this hour, and that's how I like it. All right. Ouch. There we go. Ah, that nearly ripped off all the hair from my knees there. That didn't feel good. Let's go. Come on. That was getting grindy at the end. I call that a janky 8. I think I'm going to try that one more time. If I can't get at least 7 solid ones, we'll go down weight. There we go. So when I'm bending over like that, it's just I'm writing it down. You could have seen that forearm workout. Do you mean, I'm confused. So on my pull days, I'm going to start doing more forearm stuff. I'm also checking out the rice bucket challenge. The problem is there's really very little I could show you on that. It's me manipulating rice with my hand. Like you wouldn't be able to see anything because it's in a sack of rice. I think anyone in there can use the equipment without waiting or standing around. Yes, that's the idea. It also gives me plenty of space to stream to where I'm not bothering anyone. That's more or less entirely the reason I get up at this hour. Yes, you kind of nailed it there. That's the whole point. All right, second set. I feel like the first few reps, or the first like 6 reps of that last set were good, and then the form started to break on reps 7 and 8. So if I can get, I'll probably go down weight for the third set. Probably pick up the 10s. All right. Also starting to pick up the pace, doing, another set with a 2 or a 3 minute rest gap instead of 4 to 5. Right, for my big prime mover sets, shoulder press, bench press, squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, rows, I like to take a little bit more time because those are the ones where I'm using the most amount of power, fast twitch muscles, all that jazz. So I feel as though it warrants a little bit of extra time to rest to really hit maximum explosiveness. But then for hypertrophy and the latter half of the workout, you can move a little bit quicker through it because you're trying to burn out those muscles. Let's go. Come on, 6. Yeah, shoulder's starting to move on. Last rep there. Move the 10s off, go to 115. That's fine. My left shoulder started to move there. This will be interesting. How? I mean, it would look no different. It would look no different apart from maybe that you would be able to see my watch if I left it on. It would look no different than anybody else just doing a rice bucket challenge. It's just an arm in a bucket of rice. I fail to see how that would be interesting. Gym workouts, I don't know what it is. I think it's this camera angle is really nice. Some yards is huge. I mean, Mikey, if you really want, maybe I can do that on Discord or something. I don't know. That being said, actually, forearms are kind of a weak point for me right now. I've noticed it's not even so much grip strength. I feel like for the most part, my grip strength is good, but it's fatigue, especially on pull workouts. By the latter half, my forearms are starting to give out before my biceps or my lats or my delts are, or rear delts rather. And the reason for that is, yeah, it makes sense, right? Bigger muscles versus smaller muscles. So I'm going to start adding wrist curls. I've experimented around with these. A lot of people like the curling bar for those. I don't. This is the rare one where I prefer a straight bar. So I'm going to start doing straight bar wrist curls again. Hopefully that helps. Grippers are another good option. Farmer's walk's another, but again, with farmer's walk, if you're using farmer's walk to train forearms, it is going to take a tax on the rest of your central nervous system. Because a farmer's walk, anything that's going to challenge your grip strength on a farmer's walk, going to be some serious weight. There's nothing wrong with that, but that is what it is. Same thing with a deadlift, right? You probably don't need to train your forearms on a deadlift day. They're getting a good enough workout. You can also do this at the beach, right? You can do it with rice, you can do it with sand. All right, last set. Last set on skull crushers. Let's see, what are we doing after that? So we've done 6 shoulders, 4 bench, and then we've got, damn, we got a lot of cable workouts today. That's fine. We'll do that. We'll hit we'll hit dumbbell triceps extensions. I was gonna do cable triceps extensions. We got so many other cable workouts. I think doing it with a dumbbell is a better idea today. All right, let's go. Let's shoulder flies first, though. There we go, next set. This is a lot easier. Oh, 12. All right, that's pretty good. All right. Now we're going to put this up. We're going to swap the camera. So yeah, now it's mirrored. That's okay. Doesn't need to be unmirrored just for one exercise. We're going to hit shoulder raises. So that won't be too hard. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit heavier on shoulder raises today. You see, at the gym when it was really busy, I stopped going bad. I know. Always when I have to work, I'm not a morning person. That's the trouble. So I actually have access to the base gym here, and it's great in terms of the equipment offered. But it gets so crowded after work that you have to sit there and wait on every piece of equipment. Obviously, I can't stream in there, so it's not for me. That's honestly, this gym is 100% the reason I picked this apartment. All right, let's go. This is good for your front delts. Try to keep it controlled. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nice. You know, might try triceps extensions with the easy bar actually instead of with the dumbbells the way I normally do. I never do that, so that might be a fun one to give a shot to. That's what I'm going to try. We'll see how that goes. Before we do that, though, we got one more set of shoulder raises. So that set was with the front, and this will be with the side. Now, I was actually watching a video from Jeff Nippert on YouTube. I don't agree with everything he says. I think he tries to, quote unquote, trust the science a little bit more than I think. But in general, he really emphasizes form and range of motion. Not to the point where I'd call him like a form Nazi or something like that, but something interesting he showed. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to try it this way. Is, you know what? And to do this, change camera angle. So this is an interesting one, right? So to do a side raise, normally I'll just go like this. However, right, the load applied here is a lot heavier than the load applied here. There's basically no load here. You're just kind of holding it. So it's not getting as much hypertrophy as if, say, what if you were leaning, right? Because here you're already starting to engage the muscle. You come all the way back here. See what I mean? So this is one I saw Jeff Nippert doing on YouTube, and I thought, huh, you know, that's not a bad idea. So let's give it a try. Yeah. We are just a touch low. There we go. Perfect. Now, obviously, right, there is a con to this approach. It's going to take more time to do because you're doing it single arm. But do I really care? We're here in the morning. It's Sunday. I have nothing else important to do, so why not? Oh, so lean over a little bit. Oh, yeah. That's good. That's real good. So now, if you wanted to do it the other way, you just have to get over this way. So, y'all see it from the back end here. Right, the other option here is, I think, leaning this way. But I don't like that because yeah, there's some benefit to it, but if you're leaning into something, you're going to hit it with the dumbbell. So I'm not a huge fan of that approach. But I like the idea of stretching out like this. So it's a good alternative. You don't have to do this every time, but it's a good variation. Oh, I can definitely see my shoulders working. 7. Control the eccentric. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Nice. Variations like that on standard dumbbell techniques are fun to play around with. Let's see. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to come over here. We're going to sit back down. Hey, welcome on in, Phoenix. So normally I like to do these with a cable or with a dumbbell. Today I'm going to attempt to do them with the curling bar and see how I like it. This is sort of the same principle as what we just did, right? You take your standard triceps extension overhead, and instead of using the same equipment you use every single time you come in the gym, try to vary it. This is the other nice thing you can do when you're alone in the gym. You can kind of experiment without feeling judged, or more importantly, you can use whatever version of equipment you feel like. So let's see, that's 12 there. So I don't know how this is going to feel. We're going to find out. I suspect I'm going to try it with the standard easy bar grip for the first set, and I'm going to try a narrow grip for the second and see which one I like more. It's only 75 pounds, so that's not bad. You can see the triceps working. The elbows are flaring a bit more than I'd like. 12, 14. Ooh, felt good though. That's not bad at all. So ideally for those, you want your triceps to come in, like stay here. The problem is, if my triceps are here, very difficult. There's a lot of torque I'm gonna have to put on my wrist to keep it flat. So the curling bar helps somewhat with that, but there's just a limit to how much of that I can do. We're trying to go slower on this set and really try and tuck the elbows in as much as I can. That's tough though. And it's, your mileage may vary. There's a shoulder mobility and an elbow mobility thing, right? Your elbow, it's a one-dimensional kind of thing. Can't really, your elbow doesn't go that way and that way. So you go here. Yeah, that might work better. Oh, that's a lot better. Oh, that's harder. I like this. Oh, damn. That was good. I really like that. All right, I'm actually going to steal a set from my single arm triceps push down and do a third set of those. That felt really good. So it was 15 for the first. That was only 10 there. So I'm just writing narrow grip, easy bar, TEXT, that's short for triceps extension. Good. And it's one of those feel things. This is why, again, I'm not a huge fan of the strictly science says this, so you must do this in the gym approach. Everybody's body physiology is slightly different. So what may feel comfortable for you or productive for you may not necessarily feel productive for me or vice versa. You know what I mean? Here's a great example. Someone who is 6'5" or 6'6", has got really long legs but a fairly average sized torso, is going to have difficulty with some variations of high bar squat versus someone who's, say, 5'6", and is a little bit more balanced in terms of leg to torso, right? That's my nerd accent, Well, actually, the science says you have to go ass to grass no matter what your height is. Fuck off. No, that's actually the proper one, and this would get me kicked off of Twitch is, you must go to. I can't do the angry German accent, but picture the angry German accent. You will squat ass to grass. That's just again. I think there is a point to where you shouldn't strive to be for squat depth, right? If you're not squatting to parallel, I think you should go deeper. I think parallel is something everyone can reasonably achieve. Do I think it's necessary to go ass to grass? No, I don't. Do I think there's some value in going to ass to grass? Yes, I do. However, to me, ass to grass, that level of range of motion, right? You're going past the point of peak explosiveness to where you're really just focusing on hypertrophy. So my preferred ass to grass kind of squats, I'll do them with front squats at a lower weight, or I'll do goblet squats. And usually with ass to grass, I'll put my heels elevated so that way my quads can go a little bit further forward, just because I guess when I say ass to grass, is really more ass to calves at that point, but you get the idea. Just need black rim glasses with white tape. Oh yeah, pretty much. Take a red marker, start putting in acne. Although the amount of muscles I have, if I start putting fake acne on, people are really going to think I'm on steroids, which is both untrue and something I don't want anyway. Yeah, so that's the thing. Ass to grass makes my knees hurt, and it starts getting, my lower back starts curving. You get, I think, what's called butt wink. I don't care for it. However, that doesn't mean ass to grass is bad. Okay, it just means it's not really my preferred squat depth. I think in general, I think 90-degree squats, I definitely don't go any less low than 90 degrees. I think 90 degrees is still not low enough. I think parallel is what you want is your crease of the hips at the top of the kneecaps. That's what I say all the time. And sometimes I don't get there, and sometimes I need to go back and correct myself. It's not always, sometimes if you're in the hole on a squat set, you can try and think about depth all you want, but you're also thinking about, especially, as you get into a set, 8 reps, 10 reps, 12 reps, 15 reps, you're just thinking about ramming that weight back up before you get crushed. Because failing on squat sucks. I mean, you should know how to do it, but it's not pleasant. All right, let's go. So definitely prefer the narrow grip on that. There we go. Oh, that felt good. Okay, that's a new one I'm adding as a regular technique for triceps. That was excellent. I really like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and move to cables, I think. Let's see. Actually, we have chest press next? Yeah, we've got chest press next. Yeah, we have to do chest press next pretty much. Okay. So for chest press, we're going to go a little bit heavier weight. Try and go for maybe 8 reps here on the basis that, right, for a previous set, or previous chest exercise, you were hitting dumbbell bench press for, sets of 12 to 15. So we want to go for a little bit more power and explosiveness here to go with that. In general, you should have one lower reps, higher weight set, one higher weight, lower rep set. Just kind of what I think. All right. That's better. All right. It's a bit too low, actually. There we go. Yeah, I'm not a fan of acid grass squats, but I would say there's some utility in challenging yourself on depth from time to time. All right, so what was the last time I did chest press? I gotta look, see what I did. Okay, I did 12 at this, so we need to add a little bit of weight. Let's start with 210 and go from there. Excellent. Felt pretty good. I think we'll stick to that for the next set. And we'll go hit. Let's see. We'll do 2 more sets of chest press, then we'll do Yeah, 2 more sets chest press, and then we'll do single arm triceps push downs, reverse extensions, cable chest flies, and then rear delt flies. All right, let's go. Strong leg pull. Let's go for at least 8 here. Challenge for this one that I find is this is a problem I have with a lot of hammer strength machines, is that this part of the motion super easy. The final lockout way harder, and that's always been a trouble for me, a trouble spot for me on bench. But I feel like it's much more acute on the hammer strength than it is on conventional bench press. That's ultimately a me problem. Also, my triceps are already getting pretty gassed, so that probably doesn't help. Oh well. Nice. That was pretty good. I was struggling to get 8 there. I think we're going to stick to 210. It was a pretty solid choice. Mind if I get a view count update from y'all? Speaking of other things, I'm shocked that Stream Elements doesn't have. Mikey, if you're in chat, maybe you can answer this one. Do you think there is a way to get viewer count on here? Because it's funny is the Stream Elements mobile app actually does have a little view count icon, and it's always stuck at 0. Maybe that's when I may ask you to submit a ticket on that one. I'll I'm gonna take a picture of it, and then I'm gonna show it to you. Here's what I mean. There we go. Yeah. I have no idea why this is. I've played with the settings on the app, and I cannot for the life of me figure it out. So if you can figure that one out, you're a wizard, Harry. Sorry, you're a wizard, Mikey. Damn it. The photo is blurry. That's not going to be helpful. Did it do it? Camera, why are you like this? Come on. I don't know why this camera is misbehaving. It shouldn't. I'm not even streaming on this phone. There we go. Much better. Yeah, you can see it says, it's got the upload and download speed. It's got the number of followers, and it's got the number of viewers pegged at 0, which obviously is correct. There are people in chat. Nice. All right. We'll leave one plate on there. By the way, speaking of gym etiquette, this is a rule of thumb for me. Statistically speaking, on a lot of machines, more people are likely to use one plate than zero. So I don't understand the value in fully de-racking because it's going to cost, on average, more people time. And frankly, if you can't do one plate on a given exercise, it probably is more worth your time to de-rack and rack because you'll get way more value out of it. Echelon. No, not really a commercial gym. It's a residential gym. It's the apartment complex I live in. You haven't been here in a little while, have you? Bless your heart. All right. So now we've got reverse extensions, and then we're going to do single arm. So the triceps reverse extension. Much in the same way that with cables, you can do a reverse curl. You can also do, right, so reverse curl is like this, front hand, right? So that's a push down, sorry. Coming up, reverse curl, you're curling up with your biceps like this, right? You can also do the same principle with triceps extensions. You can see my triceps muscles working here. The goal is isolation with this exercise. You shouldn't be doing this for any less than 12 reps. Need to go back. Good, okay. 65, wow, all right. Start with 64, see how it is today. All right. All right, so the goal should be for my shoulders to not really move at all here. It should be all elbow. Obviously, they have to move to get it off the start, but really just work the triceps. Come on. Nice. All right. I saw someone just very graciously tipped me. You were going to buy me a coffee link. If you click socials or link tree, you can do that. Or if you click tip, you can also tip live on air, which you get a little notification. Thank you very much. Generosity is never expected, always appreciated. So that felt pretty good. I think we're going to stick to that. I'm going to do one more set on this, then we're going to move to single arms. 23 now. I appreciate that, Chili. Thank you. So, right, with a conventional tricep push down, you're going like this. This is just a reverse. Just not necessarily any better or any worse. It's just a good variation. Let's go. Come on, can't be cheating. All right, got to go down, wait for the next one. Also got to use the bathroom. Give me one moment. All right. Let's see. Let's figure out where I did singles last. Give me just a moment. All right, let's try 44. Slipping into tomorrow. Happiness. All right, let's do this. So, single arm triceps push downs. The idea here is, right, you start with the fist, right? I just grab onto the nub here. I don't even grab a handle. You take that down. The fist should be pointing towards the rack at this side, and then at the back side, that should be like a kickback. You should be pointing from here to there. So it's almost like a rotation. All right. Now for this, obviously, I need to go up weight. I wish we could do it. Oh, that's still too heavy. That's not happening. Let's try, what's that? Yeah, that's more like it. There we go. There we go. We move to the other side. So try and, ooh, yeah, that'll work perfectly. Come on. Get the grip. Nice. All right, that was only 24 pounds. That's fine. I could feel it pretty well. That's a different table I did it on last time, because last time I was doing it with 44. That's definitely not something I was able to do with that. Yeah, so, whew, look at that. Getting a damn good bicep pump, and I'm not even working biceps today. That's a good feeling. Just for poops and giggles. Yeah. See, this is one other issue with forearm strength I could probably stand to work on. They've got a pretty good bulge on the bicep, but they're shorter head, so there's no muscle here. This is just straight up ligaments. The only way I can fix that is to build out my brachioradialis to try and decrease this gap a touch. So right, you're good enough to where if I turn in like this, you can't tell, but if I go like that, you can see it. Forearms look huge too. They're not bad. Also, so this is just a regular instinct size-wise, so it's like 47 mil, and I feel like it looks fairly small on my wrist. So that's a good sign my forearms do look on the larger side. That's sort of the way I feel like a watch is a good way to find that out, is like how big your forearms look. Because if you can make a big watch look small, I mean, the reason like Sly Stallone wears those big Panerai eyes, and they look right sized on him, or Shaq or The Rock. You know, the guys have gigantic forearms, right? It's like Arnold in the 80s wore a Seiko tuna can that looks small on his wrist. Why? There you go. Let's go. Hold it on this last one. It's good. That's real good. And then the other arm. Oh, that's hard. All right. So that's our last tricep set for the day. We've got 3 sets of chest flies and 2 sets of rear delts. It's going to do machine rear delts. May just do it with the flies. Hey, Lycan, welcome on in. Good morning. You're awake. It's just about to be 7 in the morning here. So welcome, welcome. We're going to start with dang it. Okay. I have to go across the gym to go get the other attachment. Stand by. I don't know where the other one went. All right, let's do this. For this one, I'm going to put some Black Sabbath on. Perfect. There we go. 1 p.m. here. Oof. Must be a night out. That or you must have been hungover. That's too heavy. 34. As you get used to the tables, you get to kind of get a good feel for what works and what doesn't. There we go. Nice. Okay, you ready to go to Costco in a bit? Understandable. Have a good day. we go. Next one. Here we go. Come on. It's 15. Okay. I know the mic quality isn't as good from here, but holy crap, Black Sabbath helps so much with this one. I'm telling y'all, one of the best songs that you can get for lifting to. Megalomania by Black Sabbath. That shit doesn't pump you up. I don't know what will. Yeah. Well, glad you get to come here. A couple good hacks and tips for Costco, by the way. Protein powder is good value. The rolled oats are a good value. Allows me to make something I call protein, which is protein, milk, oats, creatine, and peanut protein. That PB Fit stuff. Really good mix. We have to go now. Hey, Nuno, Big Day, Big Day Mikey, can you give Nuno a shout out? Doing while cleaning your car. Good for you. Give Nuno one more shout out. Y'all, if you have not followed Nuno Feliciano PT, dude is absolutely shredded Portuguese lifter. Strongly recommend the follow. Yeah, he doesn't work out the exact same way as I do, but his content is top notch. Strongly recommend it. Yeah. No, I see you putting in the work. I definitely fucks with that, so. Oh yeah. Let's go. Chest day. Best day. That last minute of Megalomania by Black Sabbath just hits different. Oops. Sorry, y'all. Yeah. All right. Someone using the machine for flies. No, they're not. We're going to use that. We'll come back to cables for crunches. All right. The hard shit's over. Now we just got a couple rear delts and some abs. Do you have Instagram or TikTok? I do not. Discord, Twitch, and really all I do with my YouTube channel is export my VODs. I don't really do that much else with it, so I appreciate asking. You can check out !socials for what I do have, but no. First off, I strongly dislike TikTok. TikTok is Chinese social engineering. You shouldn't use it. Instagram's not much better. My modeling director and quite a few other people keep telling me to get one, and I keep telling them no. I don't want to manage it. Instagram also is, right, envy is a sin, and not to get all moralistic, but with envy, the fastest way to do it, the fastest way to get envy is to constantly look at curated pictures depicting an unrealistically good version of other people's lives. That's basically Instagram's entire idea. So, no, strongly recommend ditching Instagram. Even stronger, recommend ditching TikTok. TikTok is so bad. I think it's, oh, review, show activity feed, no events, is enabled. Yeah, TikTok is terrible. Did you redeem a hydrate reward? If you did, let me know. I don't know why. My chat doesn't show it on the Stream Elements app. Stream Elements app has a few holes in its game, is what I'm discovering. They did. Okay. Yeah. Stay off of TikTok. No, like literally, the company that runs TikTok is more or less told what to do and how to run the company by the Chinese government. The Chinese government has a very vested interest in damaging the West, and more importantly, a very long-term look on things. So if they can cause brain rot in even 5% of the youngest generation, they're going to do it. And this isn't some conspiracy. The Chinese equivalent to TikTok pushes content of young people, playing Mozart's and Beethoven symphonies in China. But the version here in the West is Skibbity Toilet. Like it's not some mystery. Honestly, that's part of why I like doing this. In some small way, I feel as though this is my attempt to fight back at that horrific content with almost deliberately unstimulating, low intensity content, right? Now, Grant, my content is not for children, and TikTok aims itself at children, but I value my ability to say what I wish more than treading on eggshells to make Twitch happy. So it's a compromise, unfortunately. That felt pretty good. No, Skibbity Toilet is like it's a meme. I mean, right? It's not the worst example of the brain rot from TikTok, to be honest. There's a lot worse. Go look at anything dating related, and you'll fear for humanity's sake. But it's also every so often you'll be scrolling through TikTok, uh, and then this is just what my friends have told me. You'll see a very obvious plant piece of propaganda talking about how like North Korea isn't as bad as we've been led to believe, stuff like that. When in reality, apart from maybe Eritrea and Turkmenistan, North Korea is as close to 1984 as humanity has gotten. All right, yep, take care, Nuno. Did you, Mikey, did you shout out Nuno? If you wouldn't mind doing that, I'd appreciate it. If you already did, then thank you. Okay, perfect, thank you. I wasn't sure. But yeah, TikTok is TikTok is subtle Chinese. It's not even so much propaganda, so much as it is an app designed to fry the attention spans and demotivate young Americans. And I'm not saying Instagram's a lot better. I mean, YouTube is basically aping TikTok with their Shorts feature, but with Those two, at least they're American companies. And yes, that does still mean something. I agree though. Uh, right? Who is Instagram owned by? It's owned by Meta. Meta is run by Zuckerberg. Do you really trust a guy who more or less wants to try and play God in the VR set? Like if that's his entire idea behind renaming the company from Facebook to Meta was so that he could create the metaverse and become Meta God, basically. Anybody with, I mean, I was just listening to a song by Black Sabbath called Megalomania, but good God. So you also kind of notice the lack of music, big bombastic notifications, as you see on other channels. There's a reason I do that. It's not just laziness. I promise. Oh, one of the reasons is that this is something I learned from one of the greatest television shows of all time for any age. That's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, Mr. Rogers was arguably, the kindest person humanity's ever known, uh, in a lot of senses. June 19th, no, it won't. TikTok's not going to get banned in the United States. It would never pass the Supreme Court. Now, will it get banned on U.S. government property? Sure, but that's a different matter. For instance, if I was issued government property at work, I can't go on TikTok. But why on earth would I want to do that anyway? Shit's Chinese spyware. That would be absurd, unthinkable. And if you are the kind of person who works a government job and is trying to access TikTok on government property, you might want to rethink you might want to reevaluate your relationship with that app, because that sounds like you're an addict. No, the Supreme Court will not ban TikTok, and I don't think TikTok should be banned, but I think you should be ashamed to use it, and there should be a negative stigma towards using it. We need to bring back shame. You can't sit here and tell me, right, that there aren't other ways to get what you need out of TikTok or what you need out of social media with other less terrible apps. Like, come on. Okay, so we're gonna do leg raises now. We're on to abs. So leg raises, as you can see, got a 45-pound plate hanging off of a chain. The idea here is really simple. You post up on the Roman chair, you do a leg raise, but with the added challenge of a weight. So it works out real nice. Also, I'm realizing I set this a bit too high. Country is becoming shameless real fast. Oh, it's been that way since the 90s, right? South Park did a great episode on this. Not that I'm one of the South Park, people who like soy face over everything South Park does, but it was the episode about lowering the bar. And it's a really great example, right? Bill Clinton should not have been impeached for his affair, but it lowered the bar. It was shameful. Things of that nature, going out and announcing to the world that, you dig for gold, or you are out just to have one night stands with girls, right? Those sorts of things used to be viewed as shameful, and they should still be viewed as shameful. Now, you can go too far with this. Go look at the Middle East for what happens when you try to do too much moral policing. But a little bit of shame is not necessarily a bad thing. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12. That's tough. Feels pretty good. right? Go ahead and write that down. Leg raise, 3 by at 45. We'll do this. We'll do crunches today. Not really feeling the ab wheel. But yeah, this is one where, right, you don't need to go to the extent of like moral panics that we had in the 1980s or uh, the early 50s either, right? You don't need that. That's a little too far. Uh, you know, Back then we had Tipper Gore and people like that trying to ban metal music. That's too far. But you can also look at things like the you know the free love or the hippie movement, right? And say, well, these are people who just don't want to work. These are people who just want to laze around and do nothing all day and not provide for themselves. And that's not right. Right? If you've worked really hard and you're very good with your money and you decide you don't need a lot, by all means, save up and then you can be quote unquote retired on low levels of income. That's totally fine. But there's a big difference between that and being a bum. So this exercise is really good for lower abs. So one thing I'm trying to do a little bit better is completely stop motion at the bottom. So that way I'm not swinging at all. Makes it much harder. I didn't do that as much on the first set. Do one more set of this and then cable crunches, then we're done. Yeah. Well, it's kind of rainy and gray and gloomy. It looks like the tropical storm approaching the islands is starting to turn in a little bit closer to Oahu than expected. So it may, the original plan was to go and hit the beach today. Might still do it. It's a rainy day at the beach is nice. You don't have to worry about sunblock. But might end up just chilling. I know after this, I'm going to go home and make a giant pot of chili. And then I've got my friend and possibly my modeling director coming over to eat it with me. So that should be pretty good. I soaked a bunch of pinto and kidney beans overnight. The other nice thing is because it's a little windier, a little cooler, should be able to cool off my apartment, get it back below 80 degrees for a change, which is nice. All right, let's go. Last set on this. All right, on to our last set for the day. It's been a good workout, y'all. I've enjoyed this. Yeah, it's a category 1. It's not really a hurricane. Yes. So I'm a big fan of beans and chili. The reason being, it's the one where I disagree with my Texans. on. Chili is supposed to be an economical meal. If you don't make chili with beans, you are drastically increasing the cost of that meal. Like, chili is a meal that you make a giant pot of and then you have 3 nights of leftovers. Like, the idea that, like, it's the same thing. Like, I knew a coworker back at Savannah River, and I love this guy, but he would put, like, nice steak, like tender, I don't think it was quite filet, but he'd put ribeye in his chili. And I'm like, why? The whole point of chili is that you're sitting there, you're letting it simmer, letting it stew down, because a chili is basically a type of stew, right? It's chili con carne. It's the original dish. So you would want a tough meat, like stew meat, or, at best, I have ground. I use ground meat because I'm tight, but, or ground turkey sometimes too, if I want it leaner. Like, that one blows my mind. I don't get that at all. It is expensive food. Now, granted, he's 66. He's worked really hard for all his life, and he's a grandparent, so he can afford to do that. You know, he worked at Martin Marietta for a long time, and then worked at Savannah River. He'd been working at Savannah River since 19, I want to say 89. So again, he had earned it. He'd have a good long career, but I need to move you guys just a bit further out. Oh yeah, no, I think hurricanes hit. No, I'm gonna try it from the back angle here. See how y'all like that. Hurricanes very seldom ever hit Oahu. They occasionally hit the Big Island because it's sort of the first coming in from the east, but in general, Oahu usually gets spared. Not always, but for the most part. Now tell me if y'all like this view more or this side view more. This is pretty easy. I feel like I'm starting to get used to doing cable crunches and they're not getting me the same effect. Is this an ab workout? Yes, I kind of thought so too. This is. So the idea behind the cable crunch is that you take a cable apparatus up here and you crunch with your abs. But I've maxed out the weight on this thing. I'm able to do sets of 20. So I might just try going balls to the wall here, try and do a double set. Let's see what happens. See if I can't do 40. That's the real test. Nah. Stick this up. Maybe I'm doing something wrong with the form, but I'm not feeling the same burn in the abs that I once was. I don't know. Yeah, not really a good front angle here either. So let's stick this side. Okay, final set. Just hit the 2 hour mark. We just need to hold at the button. I'll do that for the last 5 reps. 10, 13, 15. Hold here. There it is. Yeah, I just needed to hold it. Okay. I'd be better off doing 10 on a 5 count there at the bottom than 20 with no count. That was so much better. Good to know. I'm gonna write that down actually. Cool. All right. And that is our workout. So I think you all have earned a little treat. Who wants to see some posing, huh? Did I get some hype in chat for posing? See me do some poses? Yeah, that's what I thought. The delts. Superman pose. With the tries. Yeah, bicep popping. Yeah, right one ain't quite. There it is. Nice. Can't resist on this one. Can't really show off the chest as much. Ah, the hell. Yes, sir. Put the back just a bit. That's actually low-key a good lat pose too. Nice. Not bad, huh? There's a reason I'm a model. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, so let's find out who we're gonna raid. Before we do that, though, if you all have any questions, anything else you want to ask me? Workout. Because this has been a great stream. Um, I don't know if I will do a second stream today. Probably not. Might just hang out on Discord. Not really sure. So, kind of just gonna find out there, you know. Um, let's see. Yeah, today was a good shoulder dominant push. Shoulders feel pretty sore. You know, uno más. Uno freaking más. Let's do this. I want total shoulder burnout. We're gonna take real lightweight. Let's just go 35s. Your total shoulder burnout here. Just do a standing shoulder press, cross grip. We're gonna go till he can't no more. Just for fun. Count them off with me. 7, 10, 50, 20, 25, 30. Oh, that's more like it, 35. All right, now my delts are proper sore. Now I've earned my pros doing that one. Oh, ooh, I cramp it up. That big old knot of muscle right there. Triceps are cramping too. I felt like that was a good idea. I'm gonna start doing that on push days for delts. I feel like my delts are slightly weaker, proportional to my chest. So maybe I need to start hitting burnouts like that. It was a 35 rep set at 35-pound dumbbells. Felt pretty freaking good. All right. So, seems like chat doesn't have any other questions for me. Um, if you want to be more in the loop, come check out Discord. If you like the show, hit the follow. If you really liked it, hit exclamation mark tip. Consider leaving me something. It's never expected. It's always appreciated. Let's find out who we're going to raid. Let's see. We've got, who's live? Vozed. I guess we're rating our good friend, our good RuneScape friend Vozed. Stream manager. So raid message is Bull Rush. This is my friend Vozed. He is a elite old school RuneScape PKer. He's in a really cool clan. It's called Cold Systems. Definitely going to be a lot of fun. Raid message against Bull Rush. That's going to be it for me. Most likely for the weekend. It's Sunday, so probably not going to see me streaming until next Saturday. I may have a modeling shoot coming up, so details, especially with the whole New York trip, TBD. Stick around on my Discord. Strongly recommend that. Again, if you really like what I do, consider leaving a tip or coming and joining the Discord and saying so. Even just kind words really mean a lot. So tell your friends if you'll like the advice I'm giving, if you'll like the workouts I do, if you want more content, I got plenty to offer. But that's more or less going to be it for me today. Say we got Jordan, no new followers today actually, but seems like it was a pretty good one altogether. Again, I'm very grateful for that. So that's going to be it for me today, y'all. So as always, make good decisions, because those good decisions form your actions. Those actions, they form your habits. Those habits, they form your values. And those values form the ethos. Be the guide start through the rough waters of life. Much love, y'all. Come in for the hug. All right, let's go raid Voss. Stick around. He's got great content. We are off the air.